So I just started a new Instagram account. Well, it's not a new one. It's actually my old Instagram account that I am now rebranding based upon new content that I am bringing to that account. I am beginning to focus more on bringing content to women my age. I'm in my mid 40s, and all the things that come along with the mid 40s. It's not fun. It's kind of when we really start having to come to terms with the idea that we are aging, our bodies are changing, and we have to really now make that decision. We're in a position right now to make a decision about the actions that we take so that we can experience still a good life in our 50s, 60s, and beyond. Because there's more and more studies in science coming out showing how, at our age, mid 40s is when we go through that change, that if we don't make the necessary preparations or we don't take the right actions during this time, it can really make a difference as to whether or not we experience like our 50s, 60s, and 70s, like as best as we can or not. So if you are in your mid 40s in this age, then that's what I'm going to be kind of talking more and focusing on. And then there is a second category that I am maybe even more interested in, which is like the golden years. We're going to call it the golden years. In Hawaii, we reference them as kupuna, but we're going to call them the golden years here. And that is actually a category of health that I'm very interested in because that's like my mother's age, right? My mother is 81. My dad is mid 80s, 85, 86 already. Many of my mother's friends, my aunties are all in that age category as well. So I'm very interested in that category of age as well. But, the two ages go hand in hand. So if you weren't able to, in your mid 40s or 50s, grab hold of your health, the coolest thing is that studies are coming out really showing the positive effects that even somebody in their 70s or 80s can have on their health if they make a decision and start taking action. So anyways, yeah, so this is, I guess, like officially my first episode. And I wanted to just kind of cover a bunch of information that I have, research that I've been diving into, looking into, implementing myself. And in this specific video, though, I am going to kind of focus more on golden age, like my mother and her aunt and my aunties, and talk about this kind of one topic that connects to it all, but a very important topic that I'd like to talk about, which is muscle and strength. So if you are looking at anything to do with longevity, anti-aging, just elevating the quality of your life when you're older, you're going to see so much information about muscle. They talk about muscle all the time. It's getting more and more popular, even for women my age. Oh, forget it. If you look up the pains of perimenopause or menopause or how to deal with the pains of menopause, like the number one thing is going to come up is to build muscle. So I think that it's important for us to understand this, especially if you are in your golden years. Are we good with calling it golden years? Can we call it golden years? It's like 70, 80 or beyond. And I think it's important for you to understand why they're saying muscle is so important. Because I think the more you can wrap your brain around the importance of muscle, then that will give you a motivator to actually get up and start building muscle. So yeah. So I guess I'm just going to shoot from the hip and just talk a little bit about it. So first off, I do want to address that building muscle is not walking around the block or doing cardio exercises. Exercise is good for you. It's good for you to walk because that's going to help your cardiovascular health. But when we talk about muscle and how women in their golden years need to be supporting, protecting, even building muscle, we're not talking about going for walks or, doing Zumba or any type of things like that. We're talking about literally strength training exercises or resistance activities or exercises that will put pressure on your muscle so your body can reply to that pressure and strengthen your muscle. Because the way to strengthen and build muscle is to apply pressure, right, to your body. So that's the first thing I wanted to kind of address, which you probably know this, that it's important for you to build muscle. It's not going to be by walking or going on your treadmill or going on your bike or anything like that. Okay, that's the first thing I wanted to say. Now, the second thing I wanted to say and bring to light is that no matter what age you are, and I'm going to talk to you like as if you're my mother's age, she's over 80. You can be 80 years old and build muscle. You can be 80 years old. Your body is so amazing that when you start activating your muscles, no matter what age you are, as long as you are still breathing, your body will respond. When you activate your muscles correctly and give it the right materials to build with, it will respond by building muscle. So, no matter what age you are, and there isn't a study that was done, so many studies. You can Google these studies online, and I will drop the links to the studies that I reference here in the notes. I mean, in the comments, not the comments, the description of this video. But I just want to tell you that there is a study out there. There's numerous studies that have been done on people who are in their golden years who have worked to build muscle, and it all shows just great results. So the point is, no matter what age you are, if you get up and acting now and you focus on building the big muscles of your body, it will help you. It will do well for you. Yes, you should start doing it because you can have a huge improvement in your muscle and in your health. One of the studies actually showed like after 12 weeks of exercise that they had a 47% increase in strength. Crazy. And the coolest thing is that it's not even muscle. Like there's some studies that talk about how it's really strength that will, when you have an improvement in strength, that actually helps you live longer. I don't want to say that like in that terms, but there's a correlation between living longer and your strength. That's better for me to say. So it's a great idea that you're thinking about exercise. There's studies out there already showing that no matter what age you're at, you can get stronger, which can help your health and can help you live longer and live longer at a greater quality of life. There's another study that I thought was so amazing. That study actually took like, they called it oldest of old. It was like an 89-year-old person. And they took the muscle fiber and looked at the muscle fiber of this 89-year-old person who was regularly exercising and compared it with like the muscle fiber of someone much younger. I think it was possibly like in their 60s or 70s. That exact study didn't mention the exact age, but I had looked at another person who was talking about it and they referenced that the age was about 60-ish, mid 60s. So I don't have the exact reference to that, but the point is the study does say taking somebody who is 89 years old and comparing them to the muscle of someone much younger, 10, 20 years younger than them, who this person is not exercising. They are living a majority sedentary lifestyle, sitting, not doing much physically. And the muscle fiber of this 89-year-old person compared to the muscle fiber of this younger person, this muscle fiber actually like matched as younger as them, like without knowing the biological age of the subjects by which the muscle was taken from. When they looked at the fiber, this fiber was younger than this fiber, even though the person who this fiber was taken from was 80 something years old, 89 years old, and this one was maybe in their 60s or 70s. This muscle fiber was younger. And I just want you to really understand that it is possible for you to improve your health, improve your body, and no matter what age you are. And I think it's important because our mind plays a huge role in our health. If we just think, oh, well, I'm getting older and just kind of comes with getting older, and then we're just going to keep going down that path. I mean, the truth is we do get old and we do age, but why not, try to better our health while we're aging? So it is important. And there are also studies that show, and they have put people through these studies, that when people strengthen their mind around the activities that they're doing to get healthier, to get stronger, to get better, those people who work with their mindset actually have better results than those who don't. And I have those studies too. But anyways, we're going to talk about this. So I want to talk with you about muscle. Like, why is muscle so important? Well, as you get older, the number one thing we want to work to prevent work to not make happen, or if it happened, like you want to be able to bounce back from it, is like falling, right? So when you have more muscle in your body, it actually strengthens your base so you can have better balance, so you don't fall. So it actually helps you be stronger, and it helps you improve your chances of living when you have stronger muscles, because when you have weak muscles, then you do maybe tend to fall more, and you have more fractures, and you have less mobility. So it's important for you to have strong muscle so that you can make sure that you are at your best, like preventing falls. Another thing that's important about muscle is that when you have more muscles, then it will actually strengthen your bones and helps prevent or keep you safe from osteoporosis. And osteoporosis is the weakening of bones. So if you have strong muscles, then it's going to help you have stronger bones. And then if you have stronger bones, then you have less chances of fractures and things that will put you on your back, right? So it all kind of connects to each other. Now, another thing that muscle helps with, and this is something that we all love, which muscle helps us burn fat. So the more muscle we have on our body, then the more our metabolic rate is, our resting metabolic rate, which means I'm burning more calories when I'm sitting when I have more muscle. So as you, no matter what age you're at, are building muscle, when you are at rest, then you know your body is burning more. So that's a great thing too, because we are all very interested in how we can keep our weight down, right? Having good muscle also helps us with our posture, which helps really our whole body, because the older we get, the more crunched down we're going to get. So we're trying to work to keep this good stature the older we get. And then another thing that having good muscle enhances is, of course, hormonal balance in our body. Imagine more muscles helps your hormones balance, and it also helps with mental and emotional well-being. So I think it's really important for you to understand that muscle will be key, will be one of the main pieces that will help you live a longer and more comfortable life the older you get. And it doesn't matter at what age you begin. This is like the coolest thing about muscle building, is that no matter what age you are, if you are in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you can still put some pressure on your muscle, and then your body can build that muscle. And when you build that muscle, you have a lot of different reactions in your body that's going to be triggered when you have muscle building. Okay, so I have a couple of tips for you, and I want to kind of go through them and give you my thoughts as we go through these things, right? So how now, right? How can we build muscle? Like, what's the pathway for you to build muscle? Of course, the first thing you're going to think about is strength training. Like, I want you to be safe no matter what you do. I want you to do it in like with people, or, you know, whatever your way is going to be, that you're not putting yourself at risk for injury. But you will be doing strength training. And I want you to focus on the big muscle groups in your body. So our legs will probably be the most important muscle group for you to focus on, because we need your legs and your muscle strength in order for you to keep yourself mobile. Because when you keep yourself mobile, then that's when you can continue to build muscle. If you're not mobile, then it's going to be really difficult. So keep ourselves mobile, upright, walking around, feeling strong, right? So squats are one of the best exercises for you to do in order to strengthen your biggest muscle group, which are in your legs. And what I have my mom doing, what she's doing is she's actually squatting. She's doing 5 to 10 if she feels like she can, but even 5 squats are great. Groups of squats during the day. So setting a timer on her phone and like knowing 3 to 4, maybe 5 times a day, when that timer goes off, she's going to walk to her chair and she's going to do seated squats, right? So a seated squat is when you sit on the chair and you stand up, and you sit on your chair and you stand up. So you could do 5 to 10. And I'm talking right now in my mom's terms, and she's like 81 years old. But if, like, you know, you can do more, I want you to do more. So that's something that is doable for anyone. All you have to do is make the decision that you're going to start putting this into your schedule, and you're putting it into your schedule with the goal of strengthening your muscles and the number one most important muscle, which is your legs, so you can walk, other than your heart. Your heart is a muscle, but I'm not talking about that. We're talking about, like, body muscles. So that's important. I want to say something too. There was this study done on Okinawan people, because they are one of the longest living people on the planet, like blue zone people. And one of the things that they talked about with Okinawan people is that they get up from the ground like 20, 30, 40 times a day, because they don't really have normal chairs, because they sit down that Asian style. So like we're talking like 80, 90-year-old people, right? That are literally getting up because they sleep on the ground, they eat on the ground, they maybe do their work on the ground. So they're up and down all day long, and they're activating that muscles, right? They're activating their muscles. So I was even trying to tell my mom, like, don't sit on the couch. Like maybe a certain time of day, sit on the ground, because you can pick yourself up and get up and down from the ground, which will increase the squats that she has. But we go step by step. So right now she's squatting on a chair. She's doing chaired squats. Progressive overload, that's something that is important, because that's really the way to build muscle. At first, you're going to strengthen your muscle by doing your exercises. But if you want to build muscle, you do have to increase the weight that is bearing on you. So like my mother has her 5-pound weight vest. Eventually, maybe she could also hold something. It's not like she needs weights or anything. You can hold a book and then sit down and stand up, sit down and stand up, because she's adding weight to it. So that's something that's important, like daily strength training. Now, functional strength training, which is like my mom goes and she gardens, and she does sit up and down. She does go up and down because she will pull weeds and stuff like that. And that's all great. Carrying groceries, all of those things are really good. So you're doing those things. If you're doing those things, awesome. But that's the first thing, is to build muscle, is there has to be some type of like strength training or load bearing activity that's happening. And then the second thing is to increase protein. So you cannot build muscle without protein. You can get protein in a number of different ways. Of course, the most favored way is by eating protein, like healthy protein, but you can also get it through protein powders and through supplements. They say maybe 1 gram of protein per your body weight. But, if you're 200 pounds, I don't think you need to be doing 200 grams of protein. So if you just did at least 90 to 100 grams of protein a day, at least that would be enough. Prioritize protein morning, afternoon, and dinner. Try to get it throughout the day. Don't just try to get it at one meal. So protein is important, because protein helps you build muscle. And then you can supply, right? So we have amino acid supplements. There are BCAAs, which is branched chain amino acids, protein shakes. There's actually some studies that have proven that when people take amino acids daily, especially those in their golden years, their muscle had improved, their strength had improved. And then when they stopped taking it, then their muscle and their strength decreased. I don't know if these people were actually eating protein. I think it is something that I want you to accept, or like wrap your brain around, though, which is the idea that no matter what, the older you get, it will be smart for you to supplement. I mean, you're going to be eating food for the rest of your life anyway, right? So why would you not supplement with supplements that would help your body, like taking extra protein, or taking essential amino acids, or taking BCAAs, which is branched chain amino acids. So I do take an amino acid every day and a branched chain amino acid every day. And I do have my mom taking those things too. So if you want some suggestions for what the best amino acids are that we love and we take, then you can comment below, and hopefully there's a way for me to connect with you here. Yeah. So that is another thing, is making sure to take your supplements. And then another thing that I want to talk about, and this is really, really important, and sometimes we don't connect the two, is hydration and electrolytes. So our muscles need to be contracted, right? Our muscles contract. With every muscle contraction, that's how we move around. That's how muscles help us lift our legs and walk step by step. But in order to have your muscles contract, you actually need an electrical process that happens in your body. Like you have minerals in your body that actually trigger these muscle twitches that allow you to be able to move around. And that's only will happen if you have proper electrolyte balance. So we need like potassium, magnesium, calcium. We need these things in our body for our body to be able to work properly, our muscles to be able to work properly. So sodium, right? Like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, all of those electrolytes are so important. Our muscles use electrolytes to trigger the muscle movements. And if you don't have enough electrolytes, then you're going to get muscle cramping, you're going to get muscle fatigue, your muscles are not going to feel strong enough. So this is so important because generally we'll get our electrolytes from the water we drink, which now a lot of the water we drink is filtered and it filters out the electrolytes. We'll get it from fruits and vegetables, and sometimes we don't get enough from fruits and vegetables. And then there are a lot of foods that we eat. If you're eating processed foods like high carbohydrates or sugars, the sugars and the carbohydrates can also leach minerals out of your body because your body needs minerals to actually process the carbohydrates. So when we eat a lot of carbohydrates, processed carbohydrates, then your body's also going to use the electrolytes that you could be using for your muscles. So it is important for you to supplement with sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium. And there are different types of electrolyte powders that people put into their water and drink up. Magnesium, I have a magnesium blend that I absolutely love. That is great. Magnesium is one of the number one minerals that's going to help your muscles recover. So you also want to help your muscles recover. There's also foods that you can eat, right? Of course, bananas are high in potassium, avocados are high in potassium. Coconut water has naturally occurring electrolytes in it, leafy greens, powders. There are tons of studies out there. I think this is understood that it's a fact that we need electrolytes in our bodies to actually help our muscles be able to work well. So that's important too. So I wanted to kind of put that out there too as you are exercising, or if you are taking electrolytes, I think it's important for you to understand why you're taking them. And then there is something that I wanted to mention to you, and it's something about grip strength. So there was a study, and I will link the study here. And this study actually did a correlation between grip strength and longevity. Yeah. So I think that this is important. It's important because this really reminds us that even though we're talking about strength training and lifting and resistance training and all those types of things, it really has to do with normal things that as a human being we would be doing if we weren't just sitting on our butts all day long, living the American lifestyle, right? If we were out and about working in a field or like doing satisfying like physical activities, we'll be lifting things, we'll be moving things, we'll be grabbing things that take some of our strength. But when we live a sedentary lifestyle, we're not using those things. So we start to lose strength. But this grip strength study was so amazing to me because it showed the significance of grip strength as an indicator of health, which means if we're just like cognizant of this, then we know like you start using your hands again. Like every time you use your hand to pick something up, be careful, like don't throw your shoulder out or anything like that. But every time you use your strength to pick something up, it's actually helping you. It's a good thing. Yeah. So anyways, this study was really great. And I'm going to list that here below. they talk about carrying dumbbells, like just carrying it in your hand. So like right now, I have my mother wearing a weight vest. She's wearing a weight vest, right? But if she were to carry weights and just walk from one side to the other side of the house and do that a couple times a day, that can also help her. The stronger we can make our hands, then the better she can feel. And there is studies about how when we strengthen our grip in our hands, then we become more healthy. So anyways, this kind of went for a little long, but actually I'm going to be doing these episodes. I'm trying not to overthink it, guys. Like, if you're watching this right now, you may be somebody that I'm currently in communication with, sharing this type of information with, and it's important for me to share this information with you. So I'm just going to do these episodes here. So here's my unofficial first episode, and I hope the information I shared with you is helpful here, and I'm really happy that you are taking steps towards making better choices for yourself and your health, and you're doing awesome.